7 USA canned foods to avoid at all costs. Read that again, because the deeper you go into the canned food industry, the more you realize that this isn't just a catchy YouTube title. It's a warning, hidden in plain sight. Most Americans think canned food is the safest food in the world. After all, it's sealed, boiled, sterilized, shelf-stable, and approved by major food authorities. But what if that safety seal isn't as perfect as you believe? What if behind some of the most recognizable labels in your pantry, brands you grew up with, brands you trust, there are hidden flaws, rushed production lines, mislabeled labels, silent recalls, and undisclosed risks that the average shopper never hears about? Because here's a truth no one wants to talk about. The canned food industry is built on volume, not precision. Factories produce thousands of cans per hour. Machines work at speeds that leave no room for human oversight. And in the middle of this industrial chaos, even a tiny error, a temperature mistake, a sealing defect, a labeling slip, a foreign object can transform a harmless can into a dangerous one. But what's even more disturbing? Many of the biggest brands don't always broadcast their problems loudly. They don't shout recalls from the rooftops. They release quiet notices, late-night press statements, obscure website updates, or retailer-specific warnings that most consumers never see, while millions continue opening cans without ever imagining that something could be wrong. So tonight, we're peeling back those labels. We're looking at 7 real U.S. canned food brands that have faced recalls, contamination issues, or production mistakes serious enough to raise questions about what's happening behind their factory walls. Not to attack them, not to accuse them, but to inform you, the shopper, the parent, the person feeding your family, about the risks you're never told outright. Prepare yourself, because once you hear these stories, you'll never look at a can the same way again. Number 1. Del Monte. The giant with cracks in the armor. Del Monte is one of those brands people trust blindly. The green label, the classic corn, the peaches, it feels safe, nostalgic, reliable. But the surprising truth is that even Del Monte has stumbled in ways that make consumers uneasy. There have been batches of canned vegetables that raised questions about processing times, temperature control, and potential spoilage risks. These aren't minor slip-ups. When sterilization fails, even slightly, bacteria can thrive inside the can in complete darkness. What makes Del Monte concerning isn't just the recalls, it's how quietly some of them were handled. Notices appeared on select retailer websites, some were issued only in limited states, and many consumers never knew the cans in their kitchen were part of the affected batches. It makes people wonder, how many mistakes are caught? How many aren't? And how many cans slipped through before anyone noticed something was wrong? Number 2. Hunt's. When simple ingredients isn't the full story. Hunt's wants you to believe it's the cleanest, simplest tomato product on the shelf. But even this iconic brand has faced issues where tomatoes spoiled prematurely due to processing mistakes. That alone is unsettling, because spoiled tomatoes aren't just unpleasant. They can lead to serious foodborne illness. What's even more disturbing is the unpredictability. Problems weren't isolated to one product line or one factory. Issues popped up across different states, different batches, and even different product types. Sauces, pastes, diced tomatoes. Consumers began questioning, if something as basic as tomatoes can go wrong, what else could slip through unnoticed? How many cans in circulation were affected before the recall was issued? And how many people consumed them without ever knowing? Number 3, Starkist. The tuna titan with surprising weak spots. Starkist is everywhere. Lunchboxes, college dorms, emergency kits, gym bags. But being popular doesn't prevent mistakes. Starkist has faced issues ranging from underfilled cans to sealing problems that could allow bacteria to grow. Some consumers even reported finding unusual materials inside cans, The kind of thing you're not prepared to see when opening tuna at work. But the most worrying part, improper sealing in canned fish is not a small issue. It's one of the most dangerous failures in canned food production. And when millions of cans travel nationwide every month, one defective batch can spread far before anyone realized what happened. When a brand this massive faces quality concerns, the consequences affect almost every household in America. Number 4, Goya. When scale becomes a liability. Goya is massive. Not big, massive. Their beans, vegetables, soups, and sauces fill entire aisles in many stores. But with scale comes risk. And Goya has faced recalls involving foreign materials such as metal fragments and plastic pieces. Think about that for a moment. A can of beans, one of the simplest foods you can buy, shouldn't contain anything except beans, water, and maybe salt. Yet several times, objects that absolutely did not belong there made their way into sealed cans. It raises a frightening question. How many cans are produced every minute for something like this to slip through? Machines jam, blades break, plastic parts crack, and amid this industrial chaos, even one unnoticed mistake becomes a nationwide recall. The thought alone makes consumers rethink the simple pantry staple they've used their whole lives. Number 5, Campbell's soup, the American icon with hidden flaws. Campbell's isn't just a brand, it's an institution. But even legendary brands aren't perfect. Campbell's has faced recalls due to mislabeling, which might sound harmless until you realize mislabeled soups can contain allergens or ingredients people rely on labels to avoid. A can labeled one flavor could contain another. And for someone with allergies, that is not a small mistake. It's a life-threatening one. There were also reports of cans showing swelling or spoilage signs, indicators that something went wrong during processing. When a company as sophisticated and experienced as Campbell's faces these issues, consumers naturally begin questioning how widespread such problems really are. If the biggest names slip, what does that say about the smaller ones? Number 6, Bumblebee, a brand struggling with its own past. Bumblebee has been inside American households for decades, yet this brand has faced not only recalls, but also legal troubles, fines, and investigations. And while the legal side is one thing, the product recalls reveal another story entirely. There have been cans flagged for contamination risks, sealing issues, and spoilage concerns. These aren't aesthetic defects. These are risks that can harm consumers before they ever suspect something is wrong. When you open a can of tuna, you expect reliability. But when a major brand's history includes these kinds of problems, it becomes impossible not to wonder what other issues went unnoticed, unreported, or unresolved. Number 7, Progresso, the premium soup with uncomfortable surprises. Progresso markets itself as the better soup, better ingredients, better flavor, better quality, but recalls involving foreign materials, including plastic and metal, shattered that image for many consumers. Imagine opening a can of premium soup and finding hard plastic fragments. These aren't aesthetic errors. These are signs of equipment malfunction, improper monitoring, and breakdowns in factory oversight. And the most troubling part, some of these soups were already on store shelves nationwide before the recalls, meaning thousands of families may have bought them without ever realizing the risk. Premium prices don't always guarantee premium safety, and Progresso proved that in a way many consumers did not forget. Final warning before you head to your pantry. These 7 brands aren't bad. They aren't always unsafe, but they have faced real issues, real recalls, and real moments where consumer trust was challenged. The truth is simple. Canned food is safe until it isn't. And when it isn't, the consequences can be severe. Factories are fast. Machines break. Labels get switched. temperatures fluctuate. And in that narrow gap between precision and negligence, mistakes happen that can end up in your kitchen without you ever knowing. So before you open your next can, look at the label. Check the batch number. Inspect for dents. Know the risks. And stay informed, because the safest consumer is the aware consumer. If this breakdown opened your eyes, make sure you subscribe to Food Alert, where we expose the hidden ingredients, misleading claims, and food brands you should think twice about before buying. Stay sharp, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next investigation.